Hey everyone, this is Rachel and I'm here sharing with you finally what I use for my craft setup. For those of you who don't know, I actually scrapbook in my living room. I do not live the kind of lifestyle where my living room has to be company ready all the time. I don't have a huge supply of stuff. I have a big supply, I'm not going to lie. But what I do is I have what I have out in my living room, and then I have an old computer armoire from the days when we had desktop computers that I use to store the rest of my scrapbooking stuff, and then about 85% of it can all be shoved in there when I need to clean everything up. So this is what I normally leave out if I have people coming over. Everything can go away in about an hour. Probably a little bit less, but you know how you start to do something and then oh, I need to put this over here, and then something else happens, and oh, I need to put that over there. And so, oh, that's Xanthi. Sorry about that, guys. She's being obnoxious a little bit because I'm talking, so she assumes I'm talking to her. And so what we've got is my couch. Well, it's a love seat. And then I put my table in front here. And then this is the stuff that stays out. I can obviously put it away if I needed to, but I don't have the queen coming over, so I don't feel the need to go super clean and fancy. This unit here, I got at Hobby Lobby on clearance, and I like it because it's neutral and it's slender, and it tucks right up against my calyx. I have half a calyx, so this drawer and this shelf, and then the top half of this is mine, and then this over here is my housemate's, because you can't see it, but there's a chair. Ooh, let me get where my finger actually is. There's a chair on the other side of that calyx, so and that's where she sits. She has a recliner. So, hers is a little bit messier than mine. I cleaned up, but she tends to be more of a piler than I am, so it tends to be messier than my side is. So, I'm going to pause this and then go ahead and give you a close-up of everything that normally stays out. And then I will put you guys on fast forward and put everything out. While I do that, I tend to clean up because, maybe I maybe have pulled some things out that I'm no longer interested in working with, or maybe I want to switch out what kits I'm working with or what kits I want to have readily available to me, because I do, as I said, I do keep some stuff in that computer armoire, and then especially all my Christmas stuff, and then if I have summer stuff, I keep it in there, if I'm going to be working on winter stuff, just either I keep them in plastic bags by line, or I put together a little kit once I have worked my way down a line and maybe there's only a little bit left. So it's a system that works for me because I don't tend to buy full collection kits and stuff like that. I tend to get kits from different companies and work with them off and on. I'll get a couple of months of the Click kit, and then I'll get a couple of months of the Scrap Room kit, and then I'll order some from the Wild Hair kit, which is more of a curated kit as opposed to a monthly kit, so you get it when you want to get one. You don't get it every month. And then I'll in January, I'm going to be doing a no spend January, so except for white cardstock, which I don't I just went through all my white cardstock. I actually don't think I need any white cardstock right now. It tends to be the only cardstock I use. I do have some other neutrals that I keep in my computer armoire, and I'm not going to show you guys that because it really isn't super functional. It's just kind of where I keep things. It's not, because I scrap mainly from here, and I scrap mainly either from pre-manufactured kits or kits I've put together. I don't go out and search for things beyond my area right here, because I find that makes me scrap faster. And while I'm not speed scrapping, I do want to be consistent. I do want to be able to get pages done. I don't want to have them sit there, and not have them work out. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, there's Xanthi. Say hi. Hello. And I'm going to pull the video camera closer. That stuff, let's see, right around here. This is the day after Christmas, so I still haven't put all my presents away and stuff like that. So they're kind of just sitting there. They will go away. I'll put them somewhere else to be put away later because I don't want to take up that much time. All right, folks, I am going to pause this and pull you up so you can get an idea of what's in each of my sections. Okay, so this container is actually from the Container Store. It does allow me to hold 12 by 12 papers and sticker sheets. So it holds kind of a mixed bag. Here, let me move this cup here, of supplies. What I have, there are cubbies over here in this corner and over here in this corner, and then that runs the center port. And then this is 12 inches wide, or 12, I think it's actually 13. 13 inches wide, and this is 13 inches wide, and then it is 12 deep. So what I have here are different pens and scissors, pens and water brushes and scissors, and then this is my silicone brush that I use for gessoing. And I don't normally keep these scissors here. These are normally kept on my desk, but because I put everything away, I kept those out so I could have them for wrapping presents and just everyday scissor needs. So in the second section, I have these pressboard things, hardboard pieces that I picked up to help with my card making. I don't film my card making. I tend to make very easy cards, but I do want to do some watercoloring, so I picked those up so I could, try to be Christina Werner. Fail miserably at it, but I'm gonna try. I have a watercolor traveler's notebook. I want to start, I have this dream of one day actually doing mixed media. Haven't fully realized it yet, but it's still a dream. It's still there. Just some post-it notes, and then some used gift cards. Here, let's pull you a little closer. Sorry. And then we'll angle you down. There we go. And then in here I have my Dilutions ink sprays and my Distress spray stains. I don't have a ton of them, and I tend to use them more for either when I mildly play with mixed media, or I use a lot of the Distress stains for my card making. I do the thing where you spray them on the on these. These are Teflon sheets, or like the mixed media, the Tim Holtz craft mat. So this is not a Tim Holtz craft mat. This is a Teflon baking sheet I got on Amazon for about $4, and I actually cut it in half. So this whole thing was like $4 rather than the $20 the craft mat costs. And then I've just got some watercolors behind that. And then these are letter stickers. They are the ones I don't use as often, as I keep in my little thicker and alpha container, which I will show you when it comes out. And then behind it, I just keep some smaller pieces of white cardstock. I think this is one piece of black cardstock. Like I said, I do have some black, craft, and gray in my computer armoire. 99% of the time, if I'm going to use cardstock, it's going to be white cardstock. So that's just what I keep handy. And then up here, sorry, I forgot I angled that back down, so you could not see what I was talking about. So here's where I was saying I have these, and it's I made a background to use, and then I flipped the stencil over, and then this one, I was spraying it through, and what I actually ended up, I sprayed it, and then I took it and I flipped it over, and I actually ended up using the part I flipped over rather than this was the original plan. And then I've got my Basil cardstock, and then I've got Stampin' Up cardstock and Close to My Heart cardstock. And then behind that, I have 6x12 and 12x12 sticker sheets where I don't have any other stuff. So this is the type of thing that if I were going to make a kit, I would go here. And I would look for stuff like this in similar colors or similar themes. And that way, I pull this into the kit and it still gets used. But, even though I don't have, so this is Photo Play Paper, Fun with Friends. I don't have anything else from this line. But if I'm going to do a friendship kit, or I'm going to do a kit with hot pink and orange and aqua, you know I can come over here and pull that. And then just behind this, I have my Fiskars trimmer that I don't really use very often, but I don't toss it simply because I'm concerned that I would end up needing it afterwards. All right, I am going to go pause once again, and I will show you my little tower that sits next to the stuff. That one right there. Okay. Okay, so here is the top shelf of my little cart thingy. It's not really a cart because it doesn't roll. And so what I have here are these are DVD slips or CD slips, whatever, and I just keep those in the front. I use these actually for the packaging technique. So these are ones that I've used several times and maybe they got a little raggedy stuff, so I moved them to be my mixed media things rather than for storage. And then I have my Shimmers Dazzlers. I have some Faber-Castell gel medium. I've got my gessos. So these are all basically my mixed media texture pastes and stuff that I use. And here, I'm gonna just flip this over. So these are the newer styles of the Shimmers products for textures. So they actually fit nicely going vertically. So it's kind of nice because it obviously I couldn't fit another row of like that. So it's actually kind of nice because they kind of just go around. So as I get more mixed media, it will be in these size rather than this size, which actually is a kind of a pain in the butt to store. So that's kind of nice. All right, moving down to the next level, and I will sit down with you guys. I have all of the punches I use. I'm just going to remove this one because it kind of blocks all of my other punches. Let's focus. So I have a box here, and this is actually, I think a Starbucks thing came in it last year, and I just repurposed it basically just to kind of hold them all in. So I've got 2 circle punches, a hexagon punch, a notebook edge punch, a scalloped edge punch, a couple of square, and then a couple of smaller circles plus a corner rounder. So those are the ones I use. I don't use them super often, but I use them more often than anything else. I do have a couple more edge punches, maybe like 2 or 3, but other than that, I didn't really keep any of my punches. It's one of those things where I don't use them, so I didn't feel the need to keep them. Sorry, whoops. I do have one more punch that you saw. This is my triple banner punch. This is from Stampin' Up, and it's probably the one I use the most anytime I make flags that are not from branding strips. It's what I use, and that just goes right there. You know, works fine. And then on the front, you'll see I have a pair of headphones. That's in case I want to listen to something on YouTube and there are people in the room. And then in the front, actually, usually what goes right here is my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, but I grabbed it to use it for something else. So it's actually, I grabbed it to use to close up treat bags for a Christmas project, and I just never put them away because it was like 2 days ago. It was Christmas Eve that I did it, and it's the day after Christmas. And I also have some more staples and then some chapstick because I always need chapstick. And you'll see this cord here. This is actually the cord for something on the next shelf, and I'll move down there now. So this is my, oh sugar, what's it called? HP sprocket, that's what it's called. And so this is the cord for the sprocket if I need to charge it. And then also here I have all my mini cube inks. 2 of them are, I have all my warm colors in one, my distress ink cubes, then all my cool colors, and then I have a mix of Hero Arts. Oh, actually, it's all messed up now because I used them the other day. Here are my Hero Arts ones. And these are just a mix of colors. I bought like 2 of them. And they're just to use if I want to stamp on a layout and I don't want to get out my big inks, which I keep with my card making supplies. I have a Rascog cart, and that's where all of my cards making supplies live. So that way I can roll it out and roll it back if I need to. All right, and then on the back end of this, I have some Freckled Fawn bags. I think they're, yeah, Freckled Fawn. And one of them holds all of my stencils. And these are all of my stencils that aren't like 12 by 12 or a big giant circle that's almost a 12 by 12. I'll show you that in a second. Then I've got another bag filled with all of my doilies. And then I have a bag filled with all of the supplies for the distress ink. So it's got like the little circles. I've got an extra one if I'm working some card making techniques. I do keep it here because I keep all of my mini distress inks here as well. And then in the back there is one more bag. This is not from Freckle Fun. I got this at a store in New York City. I don't remember which one. I just picked it up. I thought it was really cute. And this holds the actual bags I put all my die cuts in. I actually am probably going to order some more. I believe they came as a set of 100, and I bought them like 2 years ago, so they've totally lasted me a long time. So once I get those clamshell packages of die cuts, I move them into here, and then I just use half of a label sticker to keep it shut. It's not like, it doesn't stay shut permanently, but it works fine. So that is up to the second shelf. And then the bottom shelf is really pretty simple. I keep this, at some point it will become a use it up journal. I've done about 4 pages. I always forget about it. And then I have some more mixed media supplies in here. It's just a couple of tubes for their Heidi Swap art screen tubes, and then some twinkling H2Os and some shimmers, creamies, and stuff like that. They're just mixed media supplies. I don't use that often. It's one of those things where one day I'll learn how to use them properly. But until that day, we're just going to, use what's easy for me. And then these are the Heidi Swap Color Shine mini mists that I have. An extra thing of the Sprocket paper, and then my Instax printer. Okay, so that is that. Oh, and then my laptops. Yes, I have 2 laptops. I got one for Christmas, and Christmas was yesterday, so obviously I haven't really done anything. Okay. And yes, sorry, started rambling, so I cut myself off. All right, so here is my top shelf of my Calyx. I have this album here. This is actually 2013 in Project Lifestyle, and the reason I keep it up here is simply because I have no idea, honestly. I just for some reason lives there. I don't know why. This is my current album. This is 2017. So that one will get retired at the end of the year. Well, not really at the end of the year. I'll get it retired probably around in April, which is when I'll finish up 2017 and start moving on to 2018. At that point, I'll buy a new album and put that there and move that over to the shelf where these live. I can't show you that shelf right now because the Christmas tree is blocking it from like easy access, and I'm not climbing over my Christmas tree to show you guys. Sorry. It's a shelf with albums on it. I'm sure you all have your own. Next to that is my Tim Holtz stamp platform. I apologize for the shaking, guys. I am crouching on my knees, so it is not the world's, most stable position for me. And then next to that, this is a 31 fold-in file. I used to keep all of my thickers in here until I outgrew it, and I didn't want to get a second one, so I went to something slightly larger, which fits everything, and I'm perfectly happy with it. So in here now, I keep 12 by 12 stencils, and I think there's one that's 8 by 8. And then also my other mixed media supplies, so like gelatos, which I don't really like. I have them. I bought like a kit, and then it turns out, but I got them on clearance, so I'm okay with it. And then stamps, like mixed media stamps. So as opposed to stamp making stamps, these are like splashes and texture things and stuff like that. So I use them occasionally, just not a lot. So I'm going to stand up now and kind of go at a downward angle because I'm going to show you what's in this drawer. It is nothing spectacular. It is basically larger items that aren't square or easily piled, so they go in this drawer rather than in my computer armoire. So we've got some mink tubes, and then my selfie, more 6x12 bags, some Dilutions paint, my little envelope maker from We Are Memory Keepers, some craft paint, a laminator, an old camera, some book rings, crocodile. So like I said, there isn't a lot in there. It isn't very fancy, but that is pretty much what stays out. And like I said, normally this stuff is not here. I got some paintbrushes for Christmas, my allergy medicine. Winning the lotto ticket. I won $2. Did I win $2? Oh, I won $5. Ooh, $5. Some stamps I got for Christmas. That is not mine. That is my nephew's. Oh, and this cup, which isn't this cool? It's filled with ampersands, which I love ampersands. My friend bought that for me. Isn't that awesome? And then chocolate. This is a local chocolate company, and it's delicious chocolate. All right, folks, I'm at this point I'm rambling. So what I'm going to do now is put you on fast forward, and we will get started putting everything back. Dun, dun, dun. All right, folks, see you in a bit.
Okay, so I have brought out my handy dandy folding table. Now this I bought years and years ago, but I will put links to current versions of all of the things I'm talking about in the description box below. I'm just going to take a wipe and clean it up a little bit because it gets a little grody. And then you see I hide some things between my mats. But this is from Joann's, and I bought it. It's in the quilting section. Now, because I make videos, what I do is I take washi tape and I kind of mark about 13 inches, so that way I always know where I'm recording. I do sometimes forget and put it down at a lower section, and you'll note I'm also watching Property Brothers, so that's why I keep looking off to the side. So I just make sure to count up so my layouts will fit, and then Xanthi is going to join us. And I'm not going to put a link to that because it's at Joann's. You know, it's just a quilting thing. All right, so here is my little alpha storage. I have a video for this, and I will put that link in below as well, but I keep my word and phrase stickers, and then there I keep all of my little tile stickers, and then there's a center section, and in that I keep a bunch of little puffy alphas, like from Freckled Fawn, and then 6x12 flat stickers from Jelly Bean Soup and Ellie Studio, and then a couple of larger ones that just don't fit anywhere else. And then the back section holds all of my thickers. There is a video for this, and I will link it below, of me showing myself putting that together, and I also will put a link to the piece of organizational that comes from Target. Next up, also from Target, we have this little tray, and this tray actually sits on my top of my Kallax in front of that white bin I showed you earlier in the video, like where I had all my presents. But this is where I keep some small storage of things. I showed you, so here are 2 containers of wood veneer. These 2 containers come from the Container Store, and I will, as I said, I will show links to everything. Everything else in there are all of my Flair is in one of those 4x6 iris containers. Cork, all of my cork is in there. All of my acrylic pieces are in one of those, and all of my frames are in one of them, and then I also have some chipboard pieces. And then you'll see in that old hard disk drive, that's where all of my enamel dots live. I'm not completely in love with the way that enamel dot storage is working for me, so I'm going to be thinking about ways to change that up. Now, I've decided to remove the frames and the chipboard pieces and the cork because I'm just not really reaching for them right now, so I don't feel the need to have them at my fingertips. So, and that tray goes right there. It actually goes slightly to the left of where it is right now, but I had left some lotion there. Next up is my die cut storage, and I have a video on this, and I will link it, and it is in those DVD slides I showed before, and that goes directly in front of my alpha storage. And next up we have how I store my paper. I have 4 of these large multi-purpose bins, and they are from the Container Store. This one is different kinds of kits, either kits like this one that I've put together myself, or kits from the Click kits, which that one is from the Click kits, and then also Studio Calico. This one is a wild hair kit, so that's a curated kit rather than a monthly kit. And then others, like this is just all of my Maggie Holmes. I find I tend to pull things from her line, so I just keep that with that, and that goes right under my desk like that. Going next is my tool tote from Totally Tiffany. Now, in the upper left-hand corner, I keep all of my rulers. Below that is all of my scissors, and I'm going to go ahead and add that last pair back to where it belongs. And then next to below that, I keep all of my pens. And then to the right of my scissors, I have some stamp blocks in the bottom there. You can't really see it. So I just have some glitter pens. I actually don't use them that often. Below that, pokey tool, bone folder, and then on my bottom shelf, I keep my liquid glue, and then an eraser, hair tie, and accessory thing for my iPhone. And then what goes next to the rulers is my ATG, because I can't leave it out or Xanthe eats the glue, the little brat. She's going to magically disappear in a second because I skip forward to the next thing I'm going to place on my desk, which is going to go right in front of my die cut storage, and that is my box of photos. It's a little mug box that I got a mug in, and currently I only print photos I plan on scrapping, so they really aren't in a fabulous order. I even have like other paperwork in there as well. I do have older photos back from the day when you just printed all your photos in storage boxes in my armoire, and I occasionally go through them to pull things I might want to scrap. It's not fabulous. It is what it is. Next up, I am placing my water cup that always sits in front of the photos, and then this little dish, and that's from Tastefully Simple, and that just holds like little bits and bobs I need to put away. Oh, and a little plug-in thing to charge things. Next thing up is this wicker basket, and I picked this up at a Goodwill store, and it holds some of my basic black and brown inks, also a navy ink, a couple of glitter ribbons that I don't even know why they're there. I never use them. And then some basic supplies, some cards people have given me, some of my cards from paper issues that she sends with orders. I don't know why I'm chatting with you. I knew this was going to be fast forwarded. Some basic stickers that I can add to layouts that don't necessarily need to go in a kit. So those hearts from Bella Boulevard, black and white cameras, little aqua and blue, which I use a lot, gold hearts, these Ellie Studio hearts, some black and white stickers, you know, things I can add, you know, if I feel the need to. And that goes right in the center, and I'm just kind of reorganizing it because I pushed some things down. And the next thing is another one of these multi-purpose bins, and this one is filled with lines of paper. So these are all put in 12 by 12 bags by the manufacturer's line they are. This particular one is Jelly Bean Soup. I won recently a collection pack plus a bunch of other things. So I'm showing you how I take it out of what it comes in and I put it in these 12 by 12 Ziploc bags. Now these I bought off Etsy. Everything else I found was too large, so I bought these separately. The last large thing to go on my desk is this stamping stadium thingy from Totally Tiffany. It holds all of my mists and then some watercolors. It's also going to be where my Nuvo drops go. I just haven't put them there yet. I have these mini cubes of my more neutral distress inks in Gathered Twigs, Pumice Stone, Hickory Smoke, stuff like that, and a little trinket tray that I tend to put my little embellishments from my kit, along with my mini swing line little trimmer thingy that I use for smaller trimming. And then my big trimmer, my Cutterpillar Crop, goes on along with this lamp I use for filming. All right, back to live.
Okay, so this is pretty much how it looks. No. This is pretty much how it looks when it's super cleaned up. Let's be totally honest. It gets a little messier. There ends up with a lot more in here. This one ends up quite much more full. That's why I kept it small. That way, you know, I have more of an impetus to actually put stuff away rather than just let it pile up. I do have one more thing to show you. This is what I have either purchased or received as gifts that I now need to work into my scrap stuff. Yeah, That's not all. Hold on, folks. Arg. Here we go. Some more mixed media, because I totally need that. Alright. Some of these Nouveau drops I received as a gift. Some of them I actually already had. I just had put them all together. So I didn't get all of those recently. I tend to use those more in my card making than my scrapbooking. And then I have this little tray, and usually it sits right underneath here, but right now my friend Colleen went to the Bella Boulevard warehouse sale, and she bought a bunch of words, and she offloaded some of them onto me as a favor for me, because I really do like acrylic words. So now that I've cleaned everything up and made everything look pretty, I now have to work all of this into my scrapbooking stuff. It'll be fine. And I'm not going to show you that, but what I will do is I will take the camera off the tripod and show you my video setup really quickly at the end. Okay? I'm going to turn you off and then come back again to show you the setup. Okay, so here's how I normally set up for my videos. I have my tripod sitting in front of my desk. Now, this is a tripod I got off of Amazon. It was around $20. It's just Amazon Basics. I usually have something heavy, some heavy beans resting here. I don't know where I put them. They're in the dining room somewhere. It's just a bag of, like, I think it's Israeli couscous, to be honest. It was just something I didn't think we were actually going to eat because it got left in the back of the pantry and forgotten about. So I just grabbed it. And I apologize. I turned down the overhead light, but the fan is on. So if you hear that, it's just the fan. And I'm too lazy to turn it off because I have to get up on a step ladder to do it. And that's just not going to happen today. Sorry, folks. Okay, so the tripod is attached to a monopod, which is a non-electrified selfie stick. So this also came from Amazon. I think it was around $8, but I bought it like 3 years ago, so I don't know if it's up anymore. And I know, if you can see that, I do have a door back there. There's 2 doors to our foyer, one into the dining room and one into the living room, and we only use the dining room one because we only use it to get our mail because everyone comes to our back door. And so it seems kind of silly just to leave that door open when we never use it. So, okay, anyways, focus. So it goes to the monopod, and then I have a cell phone adapter for a tripod, and this was around $5. And I need to replace it. It's definitely not the world's most awesome thing. It's falling apart a little, and the little foamy things came off, so I wrapped them in washi tape, simply because there was some sticky residue and it was annoying me, and it kept getting on my phone case, and that was annoying me. Alright, so I'm gonna spin you around slowly so you'll see what it is that I turned this the wrong way. There we go. So this is the view you guys normally have, and this is a little too far to the left. I put the tripod too far over. I'll move it over here. All right, so here is where I would normally, all right, that was too far. All right, come on, Goldilocks, let's get this going. All right, here we go. So here is where the view you would normally have. Obviously, I will clean all of this up before I actually start scrapbooking. So, all right, folks, so that is my setup. That is what it looks like. I don't think it's too bad. It doesn't, like I said, it takes less than an hour to put everything away, including the table, if I have company coming over. So, and I usually, if people are dropping in last minute, they're close enough to me that they are aware I scrapbook, and they know that I scrapbook in my living room. So, all right, folks, if you have any questions about this, just leave them in the comments. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. And you can also do this on a small scale. My friend Kelly got one of the personal size foldable tables, and I'll put a link to that below, along with a link to my folding table, or a link to something comparable to my folding table. I have no idea if this particular one is still available. And she got that, and I know another friend of ours does the same thing when they're watching football, or they are, doing whatever, and they want to do small projects. They pull that table out and just do, smaller projects, or, if you're going to fussy cut a bunch of things, or if you're going to stamp a bunch of things, or color, or even work on like a traveler's notebook or anything like that. Personally, I could totally scrapbook on a small table if I had a kit and a basic toolkit. And it's basically like making your own mini crop, more than anything. So if you've got a smaller space, or you don't have an entire room, or maybe you have just a desk area of a kitchen and stuff like that, I think my setup is pretty doable. As long, like I said, I do have more stuff, obviously, and I have a place to put it, a storage place. So if you have like an upstairs closet, or a computer armoire, or just another storage place, doing this is completely feasible. All right, folks, see you later. I'll be back with some more layouts pretty soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.